golf tournaments. The Pacioretty tournament, the Drouin tournament, Monday, the Canadiens golf tournament, which Knuckles will be taking part, and hopefully the captain will be taking part in that tournament too. With us now, Max Pacioretty. What's up, Max?
Hey, Knuckles. Thanks for having me.
Good. How was the tournament yesterday? Drouin's tournament.
It was great. I mean, there are a lot of golf tournaments. You're right. You think I'd be better at golf going to all these, but it was a successful night. I think 300,000 raised, if I'm not mistaken, for a great cause. So it was his first tournament for that cause, and it was very successful.
Well, last night you were with a couple of Hall of Famers in Guy Lafleur and Serge Savard. How'd that go?
Yeah, they were both there, and anytime you get to spend time with them, those are two guys that I look up to tremendously. And when I first came here, I probably didn't know as much. I definitely didn't know as much about them, or look up to them like I do now. So, in my 10th year now, anytime I get to spend time with them, I'm thankful and had great conversations with both of them and really enjoyed my time.
Well, yeah, it's incredible. When I think back when I got here, and you are now in your 10th year, you're heading into obviously a final year of that 6-year contract you signed, and you do not have a contract going into camp. There was a report by Martin Leclerc that cited 3 sources that said at one time you had asked to be traded. Is there any truth to that?
There's no truth to that, and I can confidently say that. As you know, things come out in Montreal, especially in the summer and in August, or now we're in early September, and there's going to be stories, and it is what it is. We can't control that. Hopefully, once hockey starts, there will be less and less of it. Given my circumstance, like you said, without a contract, there still will be some noise about my situation. Sorry, that was
two very well respected and well-known journalists in the province contacted me over the last few days, telling me that the Montreal Canadiens were shopping a story to them personally about how Max had requested a trade in previous years. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to put 2 and 2 together.
So when you put 2 and 2 together, and that was, again, your agent, Alan Walsh, how did that make you feel when that come out, Max, knowing that you had never asked to be traded?
You know what? It's not the first time something has come out that has been, disappointing, but it comes with the territory. I know that, being the captain of the Habs, given the season that we had, given my contract position right now with, obviously lack thereof or no negotiations right now, I know that this is what's going to come out and be said. That being said, I have to do my best to just completely block it out, completely ignore the noise. Once camp starts, just kind of forget about everything except for playing hockey. And it seems like it's been a while since I've been able to do that. Last year with all the rumors and whatnot, talking about it often, whether it be with the media or people around the city. I just want to block that all out, and I want to do the best I can to have a good year this year.
Well, I was reading the article in the Gazette about where you said, as you learned last year, it was very difficult to play to the best of your abilities when you have this much of a distraction. The distraction being what? All the trade talk all year.
Yeah, you know what? As you say that, it might sound as if I was making an excuse, and as I said it, that's definitely not my intentions. I take responsibility for everything in my career and as my role as the captain of this team. But I think moving forward, in order for myself to perform, my teammates to perform. I think to an optimal situation to be in is the least amount of distraction as possible. And like I said, I know it comes with the territory. I know it comes with being the captain of this franchise. There will always be some noise, but I want to block out as much as I can and focus on putting the puck in the net and winning games.
Now, it's no secret that you love Montreal. You want to stay here. You've said that so many times. Your family loves it here. Is there a situation, and there was some talk about your captaincy, and at the end of the season, there was talk about the attitude in the room, and it was almost like pointing toward Max Pacioretty. Is there any scenario where you could see yourself back with this hockey club where they say they offered you a deal, but they would want you to relinquish the captaincy?
You know what? I haven't thought about that at all. What comes to mind is, I do love it here. I love it here for hockey, and I love it here for personal reasons as well. And I think that's a big reason why I spend the entire year here. In terms of your question, I don't know if I can answer it because I haven't even thought about it or spoken to anybody in the organization who has put that out there. I think right now that might be option 5, 6, 7, but we're trying to work on option 1, and that's and that hasn't even been discussed yet. So I think that's far down the road to even worry about. I want what's best for myself and the team, and I haven't thought about that scenario. So it's kind of difficult for me to answer right now. So
if you're signed, then by camp, or if they negotiate with you and you signed a contract, and they said to you, hey, listen, Max, we really want to go another direction as far as the captaincy. You'd be open to that?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm really not. I think whatever's best for the team. If I'm here in terms of their plans, I don't see a case for that right now in my mind. That's not to say that it wouldn't change down the road. But in my mind right now, I don't see how, that would be brought up with other than to, make a reason for why last year happened. And last year happened for a lot of reasons. I'm a big part of that, but so are a lot of other people. And I take responsibility for my part, but I'm not willing to take the entire responsibility. And I think as we discuss, your question, that would kind of be pointing at, the finger at me taking the entire responsibility for the year. But that being said, moving forward, if I'm a part of this franchise down the road, I want what's best for myself and the team and the organization. So, it hasn't been brought up ever. I'm just kind of shooting from the hip here, and maybe I've said too much, but that's how I feel about it off the top of my head.
When you think back those 10 years ago and, that core, let's think 6 years ago when Marc Bergevin took over this hockey club and was going to build through the draft. We had a good core of players here. Subban's gone, Markov gone, Radulov gone, Galchenyuk gone. And, it seems like you might be next on the list. It just seems like this team and their core players have been slowly dismantled. When you look at that, what do you think when you look at all those guys that were moved and are no longer here?
You know what? It's my 10th year, as we keep talking about, and you start to think, we play this because we want to win. And I don't want to say that we wasted years, but we did have good opportunities to win. Making the conference finals one year just had us, with that taste in our mouth that we were close and we wanted more. We wanted to win, and we felt we had a good core group of guys to do so. And for whatever reason, slowly, a couple of the guys, or all the guys you mentioned are no longer with the Canadiens, and I'm the only one that you mentioned that still is. That being said, it seems as if the team is doing a little bit of a rebuild now, and whether it's in their mind that it's short term or long term, it's something that we just as players cannot worry about. Everyone saw what Vegas did last year as a team. They were in not rebuild, but they were building a foundation from the ground up, and they didn't have any plans to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, and no expectations to do so either. And look what they were able to achieve. So, everyone knows the situation we're in with cap space and players that we lost. But you've seen some teams before, like Vegas, do some incredible things. And everyone seemed like they overachieved on teams like that. And I think that's the mindset as individuals, as players, that we have to have is, there are no expectations from anyone around the league or in the media or fans for us to do well this year. And that should be the motivation as individuals to just go out there and prove everyone wrong on a nightly basis.
Now, you had a off season, no question about it. You admitted that yourself. But in the last 6 years, you're in the top 10 in goal scoring in the National Hockey League. Montreal Canadiens have had a difficult time scoring goals. And now we're looking at the best goal scorer they had in the last 10 years. And it looks like you could be moved. You were already traded back at the draft to L.A. You nullified that trade because of the contract situation, which I can't say I don't blame you. And we always hear how hockey is a business now. It's a business. But when that happened, that trade happened, you nullified it. Did you feel disrespected? Here you are, the captain of the Montreal Canadiens. Like, who's going to trade their captain? Who's going to trade their top goal scorer? All of a sudden, you're traded to L.A., you nullify the deal. But afterwards, when you sat back and took that deep breath and took a good look at it, how did you feel? Did you feel disrespected?
I didn't feel disrespected. Like I said, the team's going through changes right now where I haven't had direct contact with them in a sense to know, what the exact plan is. It seemed as if at the time that I wasn't a part of their plans. I'm not sure, in this business, things change on a daily basis. So we'll see where it takes us now. But, that being said, it was an emotional summer where there were times, as you mentioned at the draft or at free agency, where it seemed like, my life was about to change dramatically. At the trade deadline even, but here I am in Montreal still, in my house, with my kids in school, just trying to focus on, what is really important in life. And I think, my parents and my family have really made me realize what's important in this situation. I'm playing hockey still for the Montreal Canadiens. I'm still the captain right now. I'm playing, what I love more than anything for a living, and I'm making an amazing living while doing so. So, I'm not going to sit here and say that I feel disrespected or trying to have anyone feel sorry for me. I'm still in an amazing position, and I still get the opportunity to play hockey for a living, and that's kind of been my mindset as this has all played out.
I think a lot of people are surprised, obviously, that this organization has not tendered a contract for you yet. If it happens, it's by you're saying and Alan's saying you will not negotiate after the season starts. But just say you start the season with this hockey club. How difficult is that going to be for you to really focus and keep your eye on the ball and be able to put those numbers up again that we're used to having from Max Pacioretty?
Yeah, well, I think regardless, there's going to be a huge amount of noise surrounding myself and the team this year, and that's the position that we're going to be in. We just have to face that, and there are going to be times where I know I'm going to be up at night, but there's also going to be times where I'm sitting there with my family and I'm able to just completely forget about all that noise that we talked about. So the purpose for the no negotiation during the year is to try and block a little bit of that out, both for myself and for the team. As this whole story has just taken on a life of its own, and we just want to do the best we can to not have it be a distraction. It is going to be a distraction. We know that, but any chance we can get to limit that, we feel that that's necessary to do so. I mean, we keep talking. I've been here for 10 years. I mean, if the Montreal Canadiens wanted to sign me, I think there would have been numbers thrown around or anything thrown around right now, and that just wasn't the case. So I don't see what going into the season really has to do with my situation. So the season's going to be this year for playing hockey. The off season is for negotiations, and I just want to focus on playing hockey, like I keep saying.
So you're going to camp. You go to camp, and you don't have you're in the last year of contract, and nothing happens. Maybe up to trade deadline. I got to think this general manager has painted himself in the corner a little bit, and if it gets to trade deadline and you get through that, just say you became a free agent. And you have that opportunity but once in your career, really. And this could be a possibility for you. Is there any scenario here where you would not play this hockey season?
Not play the season?
Yeah.
No. This is like
because even though you have a contract, Max, I'm just thinking down the road when you're thinking about that, free agency down the road. There's such a risk here as far as that you got 1 year left here on your contract, and you get that risk of an injury, a concussion, something like that.
Yeah, I mean that hasn't. I don't even know to be honest, I don't even know what the rules would be on that, and I don't know how that even works. I just know, there are ways to protect yourself. Players take out insurance policies and whatnot. You mentioned injuries, but the one thing that I'm focused on right now is, as you know, we're expecting our fourth child, and that's going to be kind of right in the thick of things. I mean, the due date is beginning of January, end of December. So really, for stability and our life when it comes to planning for that, that's pretty much, in my mind, what the focus is on. Obviously, it's more difficult for my wife, and she's the one that has to give birth, and hopefully I'm right there with her, and everything works out, well in that sense that I'm able to be there with her. But I think I haven't even thought about the other stuff. What I've really been focused on is my family and that stability, and I mentioned school for my other children, and it's crazy that I'm even talking about this, because when I first knew you, I hardly even had a hair on my face, and now I'm having my hopefully.
And you just had a girlfriend. That's all you had.
Yeah,
just a girlfriend
exactly.
at the time.
So it's crazy how it all changes. Where obviously hockey is very important to me, but this year, is a big year for my family, and I'm looking for that stability for us as a family as well.
Yeah, well, listen, me sitting here talking to you and knowing you like I do, I want to see nothing but the best for you and Katia and your family. I hope that, my hope is that you get to training camp, you get back on track, you get playing what you get paid to do, and that score goals, and you go out there and you have the best year you can, and then things work out the best for you. I want to see you be happy. I know you want to be here. I know you love it here. You've carried yourself well as a captain here. You've been respectful to the community, and you've done the absolute best you can, and that's all you can ask from someone. And me, I'm proud to call you a friend, and I hope for you that things work out, and I'm sure they will. And I want to thank you.
I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you for that.
And I want to thank you for taking the time. All right, Max, we'll see you on Monday, huh? Hey, by the way, are you a Patriots fan?
No.
You're not, huh? Who are you? Who's your NFL team?
Yeah, we got a debate if it's the Giants or the Jets there. We know.
Who's
The
your
Giants?
Giants.
Boom, I got it.
All right, okay.
There we go.
There
Let
you
the
go.
record show.
All right, let the record show, but I'm a Pats fan. See you later. 18 years, 8 Super Bowl finals, 5 Super Bowl rings. Go, Pats, go. All right, Max, thanks, buddy.
All right.
Max Pacioretty joining us here, and now we know he's a Giants fan. Huh, Mo? What a drag. Giants fan.
He must be amped. Saquon Barkley?
Saquon.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know, amped. I think he'll be amped when he finally signs his next contract in his situation.
You can feel the stress
settled
on his shoulders right now, Chris. You can sense in his words and how he conveyed his thoughts to you and to everyone listening right now on TSN Radio.
Not a great situation to be in.